Be advised, mature content ahead. This podcast is brought to you ad-free thanks to the Legion of Demons at patreon.com/NOTLP. If you like what you hear, there's much more at patreon.com/NOTLP. Join the Legion. That's patreon.com/NOTLP. And now the show.
How do you do? Just a word of friendly warning. I think it will thrill you. It may shock you. It might even horrify you. So if any of you feel that you do not care to subject your nerves to such a strain, now is your chance to, well, we've warned you.
Rutger. I barely know Gur.
Little baby Rutger. Oh, give me the baby. It's little baby Rutger. Oh, you're so cute. Look at your little nose, Rutger. You got such a good little.
I just like to imagine naming a baby Rutger.
How are you doing, Kelley?
Weird.
Kelly's doing weird.
My COVID shit is just we got these weird emotional things, and then also I've been coughing up a little bit of blood here and there.
Oh, Jesus Christ!
So it's okay. I think I'm okay. I've got to call into my doctor.
Yeah,
just to check. So
all right,
but I think it's fine.
Now,
I think it's fine.
When you say you're coughing up blood, like how much? Like movie consumption?
No.
Amounts?
No.
Amounts. Do you not to? All right, I'm going to give listeners a chance. I'm going to say something gross. All right, so give yourself from like now count to 30 if you're really bothered by gross things. Go.
1, 2.
All right, so it's just been like kind of bloody mucus a little bit here and there.
It's not like chunky, right?
It's not bright. It's just, I think it's okay. I've read up about this a little bit and, but again, we are having, and if you look at a lot of people are having these weird lingering sort of intense roller coaster emotions. I know both of us have been since we had it. And even like that, like I was so scared about that today. Yeah. And then it just went away. Like, I mean, I'm concerned, but like, I was like, outrageously scared about it, like having almost like a panic attack about it, which is not my way usually. I was very angry on Saturday, which is also just not really a thing. Yeah. I know everyone thinks I'm angry because I rant, but I mean those in a way, but like I don't hold anger inside of me, and this was very weird for me. So I know it's not like a right. That's weird. But other than that, I am feeling better.
We should every month we should do How Are You Doing Now? Because that was like a legitimate great answer to our stupid punny theme name. Mm. We're for real, man. Sometimes
I love you, Kelley. I hope it's okay.
Thank you. Can I tell you, I actually didn't realize you were doing that. I thought you actually were saying, how are you doing?
No,
Kelley?
it all worked out really well.
I wanted both.
Well, you got it.
And actually, I didn't know this until you just told me. So you now have to keep me in the loop.
You dropped a bloody bomb on us, Kelley. That's like big news to drop on strict friends while we're recording a podcast.
But
could you have possibly eaten some glass?
All the coughing can make you tear stuff too.
Yeah.
Well, that's basically what I think it is, or just drainage and stuff causing inflammation, and or it could be like a bronchitis situation. So I'm just gonna see. They need to fucking call me back though, because I got to get on a plane in a couple days. So
yeah.
Wow.
Anyway, how are you doing?
Now she's worried.
Rutger, how are you doing?
Well, I need the distraction from my other things I have to worry about.
Her dog's having her lump removed.
Yeah.
Millie, she had a big, crazy eyeball-sized cyst on her head. She's at the vet having an overnight right now.
And Elsa's an only child, and we're all just so... Like, I dropped Millie off, and she's a real bitch. Okay? Everything has to be a goddamn thing. She can't just sit nicely at the vet's office to wait to check in. No. She has to gnaw on her fucking leash, whine, pull, try to run away. By the time I drop her off and get back to the car, I'm like shaking. But she's okay. It's fine.
If you can't get into your doctor, Kelley, we know a vet now down there.
Yeah.
And they can probably check that out.
Yeah. Is it down at Noah's Ark?
Yep.
Yeah.
Well, I'm already in their system.
Oh, good.
So I should.
Easy.
Is that why it says to put your pills and food?
Yeah,
all
if
the
you
labels to your prescriptions.
Hey, just get me on just text me on the queue, and they can just call me when I'm ready to come.
Do we need to express your anal glands, maybe?
Express yourself.
Those were expressed yesterday.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah.
I have that done every 4 to 5 weeks.
Was that during the angry phase of the emotional roller coaster?
No, that's what fixed the angry phase of the emotional
It
roller
does help
coaster.
cleaning those pipes out.
Squeezing your butt.
Do humans have anal glands?
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah. Do you ever see me scrape my butt against the carpet all the time?
I mean, there's something back there that secretes besides your butthole, I think. I think there's a gland in there.
There probably is. I don't know.
I don't know.
Do you, the listeners at home, know?
You guys yell a little louder in your
definitely
car.
Definitely one of them does. At least. Probably most of them. I don't know.
Everybody stick your fingers at your butt right now.
No!
And see if you can secrete.
But see, I
Until you find a
won't.
gland.
I feel like mine's dry, so I won't. I won't know.
Our prostate is down there. That's a gland, isn't it?
It's up in there.
It's up in there. Up in
It's
there.
past
I
that.
don't
It's
think
like on
it's
the other side of it. It's not in your butthole.
Yeah, I don't think our prostate secretes anything, does it?
It almost sounded like you said pizza.
We are not doctors, scientists, biologists,
Speak for
veterinarians.
yourself.
We're not.
We're not even pharmacy technicians.
Look at that wall.
Can
Do
you
you
tell?
see all of those certificates?
Yeah, they say nothing about medicine.
That one does. It says to put my medicine in food, and it's from Noah's Animal Clinic. So that's official. I think I'm qualified to speak on this.
You just gave Kelley Seinfeld advice. You're like Kramer, aren't you?
Oh yeah, that is kind of Seinfeldy, isn't it?
I can't do Kramer. I'm sorry. I tried twice to set myself up for Kramer. I can't do it.
I can't.
You got the Kramer hair, kind of though.
I can hear. I know. It feels like it should be a slam dunk for me, but I can't.
You just have to slide.
I'm a
to
much
your
better
kitchen.
George. I don't know.
With your balance, you can't really come flying in a doorway.
No.
But sometimes
You
he
might
does.
fall over.
He'll come flying into my heart,
But you think
into your heart at home.
Kelley would be the Kramer, wouldn't he, of the four of us?
Of us? Yeah, I'm the George. I think that's pretty
Yeah,
clear.
you're the Elaine because you're the ladies.
Oh.
I would almost say that
That's
Kelley's the
thanks.
Elaine. Amy's the
That
George.
could be the Elaine.
Andy's Andy.
I'm the Newman.
Newman.
I feel more like a Kramer because I'm usually enthusiastically starting something
I'm
that's
the
going to go
Jerry.
nowhere.
I get Kramer from you.
I'm the Jerry.
If I'm focusing on the more charming aspects of these characters, that's who I would say. Amy, yeah, you are a Jerry, Amy.
Such a Jerry.
Andy, are you a George? Andy,
Just because I'm the
Andy
shortest.
is not a. Oh, you might be a George.
you
though.
do. You have hard candy in your wallet.
Yeah.
You had a pepperoni in your wallet.
Amy asks.
I do have a fat
Amy is
wallet.
constantly asking what the deal is with things.
Love cereal. Love it.
It is true.
What's the deal with humans having anal glands?
Origins is out.
Yes.
We were just doing it. That
Doing
sounds
it.
funny, right?
Yeah, so
Doing it right, child.
Patreon.com/NOTLP. You can find Origins there if you're a patron. We just talked about episode 198 from September sometime 2010.
Yeah. And we
Too
did-
long ago.
Andy's Good Samaritan Topicana question was nice.
We just
That was a
recorded
very
yesterday.
nice discussion. I enjoyed it quite a bit.
Oh,
The
thank you.
positivity was really good.
It was needed.
I laughed a lot. I can't wait to listen to
It's
it.
so fun. Like as soon as I get off the computer with you guys, this flood of stranger kindness came to me, like remembering things.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Maybe we should do a part 2.
Yeah.
too.
But like real quick, there's one time we got caught in a snowstorm, ice storm, and I couldn't get my car up the hill, and we had to get up and walk to our house. But some Good Samaritan drove us to our house
Aw,
Aww.
that is nice.
because we were literally like sliding down the hill.
Oh, dear God.
They're like,
It
they're
was
getting
fun.
close to the crime scene. What do we
That's
do?
very scary. I had a nightmare like that once, actually, where I was in a car on an icy hill that was like sliding backwards.
How long did you slide in the dream?
Did you pee?
No, it wasn't a pee dream.
Did you poop?
I slid.
Was
I
it a
slid
cold
for.
pee dream?
No, nothing came out of me. It was more an anxiety dream about being on an icy hill.
Yeah, being out of control. We should make a feature-length film about a car sliding down an incline, and it all takes place during the slide.
For the whole length of the movie?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then we could even call the movie The Slide. And it starts off, the guys have conflict when they first get in the car together. Sure. And then
let's make it
they slam
zero
the doors.
dialogue. Also, you got to everything has to be told. It's just different long shots of the car slowly sliding backwards.
Two guys vacillating between utter terror and like just huffing and stuff, and like being put out about what the other one did.
I mean, can they not get out of the car because there's wolves outside or something?
The doors are frozen shut.
Frozen shut.
I thought
that happened really
and there's
fast.
traffic on the road.
Yeah.
Was it like a flash freeze?
It was so cold.
Is this some global warming shit?
That could be the name of the movie. The Slide, So Cold. After the So Cold has two meanings because they were friends and now they got bad blood. They're gonna slide down a hill for 90 minutes.
Some Tay-Tay there?
Yeah.
Wow.
And then when they get to the bottom of the hill, do they have their things worked out? We don't know. Or do they?
You got to get to the bottom of the hill.
Right.
But I thought we were supposed to keep running.
But that doesn't sound like a scary trip down the hill, though. That sounds like a long.
Oh, I didn't tell you about the Dracula in the trunk.
Oh.
When they get there and they finally make up, he's like, "Can you pop the trunk? I brought you something." And then the Dracula pops out and is like, "Bleh, you should have
Spoiler alert.
before you got in the car, and he would have warned you about me, the ironic vampire twist at the end." Instead,
that's a great twist.
Yeah.
Oh,
it's funny that the vampire would like narrate his whole purpose like that.
It's probably the weight of the vampire in the trunk that was pulling them backwards.
The Weight of the Vampire is the sequel's name.
You'd think the extra weight of the vampire in the trunk would help their tires gain traction.
The Unbearable Lightness of Vampire.
Did they have any kitty litter back there?
Does anybody?
Just vampires.
Do people actually do that?
Amy,
We did.
where do you come up with this stuff?
Yeah, I've tried that.
Freddy's old Mustang, because it was rear wheel drive.
Yeah, I kept kitty
We
litter in
kept
it.
kitty litter back there and sand.
And not a little.
Yeah.
I carried, it was like 200 pounds of kitty litter, also for the weight.
So that fucking car, God, I hated that car.
Yeah, it sucked in the winter.
Yeah.
It was great for the drive-in, though.
And
yeah.
for picking up chicks,
Not
right?
to mention that.
Yeah. It's a real pussy wagon.
A real pussy wagon.
Because you had kitty litter in the back.
You know what women love is when you
Chicks
pull up
meat cream.
in a black Mustang listening to the Knight Rider theme. They love it when you ride through a neighborhood and listen to the Knight Rider theme and go, yeah, yeah. Or then you turn on the Never-Ending Story song, like when you're riding Falcor and you also do
Right,
it.
you skip ahead and it's the Never-Ending Story song.
Yeah, you skip ahead from the Knight Rider song to the Never-Ending Story song. And
You didn't even mean to.
And you're just like, oh, snap, they're playing my jams. And the ladies just come.
And then
Chicks with cream.
Is that why the roads are so slick? All the lady juices.
Slick with cream from my Knight Rider.
I want to tell a story. So the other night, Freddie and I and Andy, we stepped into a time machine.
We really did.
Oh, Mad Frog. Okay.
This bar that Freddie's band used to play at,
I thought you meant literally.
And Kelly's band.
and Kelly's band used to play at.
You were mentioning the names.
You were, Troy mentioned.
oh
it.
yeah, I heard. I saw that. Thank you, by the way. That was very, very kind of you.
The Mad Frog.
Big
It's down in
part of our
Clifton.
history.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
It's down in Clifton near the University of Cincinnati.
It's a first placer when you're first starting out. Well, not anymore, I guess, but it was a first place. That was where it wasn't Pike's first show, but when we got the band like all together, we got our lineup started. Like the final one, it was like our first, and the band we were in before that, where we kind of left and recreated that, we played there too. The Dreadfuls, which was not an ironic name. So yeah,
it was like 20 years ago, right? The place was. Since then they built like a nice stage and everything, but like 20 years ago it was like
It's a dive.
It was a dive, but also not only was it the first place you would play out with the band, but you would play out with real professional musicians frequently too, which was like an education for the local musicians who just toured in this area. So you have, like, I forgot we played with Flogging Molly. Back then, I didn't know who they were back then necessarily. I think I kind of did, but like, I didn't realize that they were like this huge act, you know, because they are pretty big act. And you're just like, the people running the place, they're like, yeah, we're going to let these local numbnuts figure their shit out with these professionionals. And that was it was great.
That's so funny. I can't remember if it's Flogging Molly or Dropkick Murphys, but we were playing at Sudsy's once, and they were playing across the street at Bogart's, and their show let out as ours was coming on, and a bunch of people. They said that they came over and were in the back of the bar too. All these dudes in hockey jerseys and shit. Supposedly was the band.
That's Dropkick Murphys then.
Dropkick Murphys, also used to come here. They're both Boston bands.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure Flogging Molly was out of Boston.
I don't know.
So the Mad Frog is closing. It's done now. And so Freddie, you and Troy were trying to get Dragon Ash Jones back together, but people got shit going on.
Yeah, just for the show. Yeah, we were
going to do a little bit, just a little show.
Well, there's a lot of good reasons. Like, it was a blend of bands that both of us had been in.
Yeah.
But Mike Platt, his sweet sister Michelle passed away from cancer recently, and he was the lead guitarist from Troy's band Porcelain Underbuddy, and wrote,
which was Pike's first show, was with Porcelain Underbuddy at Sudsy Malone's. Yep.
Yeah, and Chris Schmidt was running sound, who was another local musician who always did sound for us. And if you played music in the 90s and early 2000s in Cincinnati, there's a chance Chris probably did your sound. And he also mixed. We found out, I didn't even know this until Friday night, that he engineered Walk the Moon's first album. And that they got that opportunity because they won second place in the Battle of the Bands at the Mad Frog.
Oh, no shit.
And the prize was 3 songs with Chris.
That's awesome.
Isn't that neat?
That's a good dude. I couldn't believe he was still there.
Yeah, he is still the sweetest.
Yeah.
He's the nicest guy. He just cares about, he's a great sound man. If you look at this room and you hear the sound he can get out of this room, he's the genius when it comes to that shit.
It's really true. I mean, he makes bands sound huge in this little stage area.
Yeah.
He's really good.
For me, it was too loud because the day after I was spent.
I developed a bitch of a migraine. Yeah. I'm old.
Yes.
You guys were right next to this biggest speaker in the place too. They plopped down right next to this thing.
I didn't notice it there.
Marty McFly's amp, essentially.
We are 20 years older from when we used to go there, and it's a better sound system. So I don't remember it was a decent setup back then, but I don't remember.
It was rough, man. Yeah. We had to bring pieces in sometimes back in the day. Like, we'd get there and set up, and they'd be like, "Oh shit, this monitor's completely busted. Does anybody have a connection? Anybody have anything?" And then we'd scramble all over town. And this was back when I was using MapQuest, because I get lost going everywhere, no matter how many times I've been there. And we would get lost all over town.
Had to print out your directions.
Yeah. And there was a audio rental company here in town that we would use all the time for stuff, because last minute you would need pieces. It was a guerrilla warfare, man. It was I'm very proud to have been part of that scene, and I didn't realize how proud I was until Friday night.
Because there were so you and Troy just got up and did an acoustic kind of thing.
Yeah, we just opened the night and hosted it.
And I could tell the people there were not there for acoustic stuff. They were there for a little harder, which they got after you guys, but they were so sweet. They got hard after.
They were great. Well, the bands that followed us were
the metalheads
amazing.
That were there to see the other cooler bands were so nice. And they were hooting and hollering and clapping.
It felt good because they were our age too, because I thought I was going to go there and feel super old.
Because it was all bands who used to play there 20 years ago.
Oh no, that's probably what part of why their sound is, that young kids don't go there anymore. That's that's like our age people kind of place. Yeah.
I ran into Ian, whose brother was in Ass Ponies. I cannot remember his brother's first name, but and it was if you've never heard the Ass Ponies, which you probably haven't, I'd check Ass Ponies out if you're listening to this. They're on Apple Music and Spotify. They're amazing. He's sadly not making music anymore, because I found out he has I I think he said Parkinson's disease. It's real loud.
They had a mini hit, Little Bastard.
Little Bastard. I loved it. I was listening to it after the show because I was just like, I just got into this nostalgia hole. But I got to say, Moot, the band that, the third band that went on was like a huge pleasant surprise. They put on like a full set and sounded amazing. But the band that went on right after us was the most fun. What was it called? Lazy Ass Destroyer.
Yeah.
And it was, this dude comes up with just this boombox with graffiti on it and lights and sets it down. And then he's dressed in like,
he looks like a Proud Boy. We were concerned at first, but then the lyrics belied that. So we were fine.
Yeah. It was an old punk. You know what I mean? Like he was wearing a Cat Religion shirt instead of a Bad Religion. It was the Bad Religion logo with Cat Religion, and kind of a fun guy with sunglasses. You know what I mean? They had a kind of a, I don't want to call it a gimmick, but they had a look. And then the partner, that's just the two of them, the partner comes up and he's playing this giant stack. I thought at the time, it turns out it was this little thing sitting in front of the giant stack, but it sounded huge. Just playing electric guitar, real emo look. And then this guy in the cargo shorts rapping, and they're playing tracks, which they make it look like they're playing their tracks from this boombox, this little boombox, but they sound huge and it's lit up.
Yeah.
They were amazing.
That's
they
cool.
were showmen.
Yeah, that was fun.
Yeah, it was really, really fun. Unfortunately, we didn't get to see the last few acts, including Black Tractor, which is Chris's band, which I was sad that I missed that. But
I played with them once.
Yeah, when they were Bag or Black Tractor?
Black Tractor.
Yeah, we played with them when they were Bag.
That was at the Viper Room.
This sounds like Mighty Boosh dialogue right now.
We did a show from the Viper Room one time.
Or the Poison
Room. Yeah,
Viper
Room.
It did start off as the Viper Room. Yeah. Well, it did start off as another location. Yeah, like a franchise.
Oh my Lord.
And then after the first, because the first time or two that we played there, it was still the Viper Room, and then they changed it to the Poison Room.
Those were both I always felt that was the coolest named club in town. Mm-hmm. It just sounds cool.
So cool.
The Viper Room. Just imagine a bunch of snakes on the floor and shit. I mean, not that I want.
Why did it have to be snakes?
Right. I want to have the plexiglass between me and the snakes, but I want the Indiana Jones experience.
So you think, is that my cable or is that a snake?
Right.
And you reach down and get bit by a cobra. And then you die.
Oops.
It's
they're hard to tell the difference.
It's the risks of live music in Cincinnati. Cobras. Mm-hmm. Lots of them.
Well, there you go.
Yeah, so
we're living some glory days.
The Clifton of our youth is gone, guys.
It's gone.
It's all corporate.
Other music thing.
They have a Target on campus.
Fucking Target.
How dare they?
It's so weird to see a Target. Like I told Amy, I was like, this doesn't feel like Clifton. It feels like New York or something now because of the number of storefronts that are built into like this just that style of the urban shops. It was very weird.
We just don't understand. Because we went to college 300 years ago.
Right. Well, it was all little shops.
It was all little shops of horrors.
Mm-hmm. It's true.
But I wanted to say real quick, thank you to Risk. True Tales, Boldly Told. Have I said this at all?
The Risk podcast, the storytelling podcast.
I don't think we recorded.
You talked about it
on
Topicana.
Oh, okay. Because I was having deja vu. So I did a cover they were doing this thing where they were doing like a mashup of covers of their theme music. Risk is one of my absolute favorite podcasts of all time. It's just storytelling and it's well sound design. It's great. It's funny. It's sad. It covers everything. But I got to cover their song, and I just found out that on the next episode they're actually going to use my version in full to open the episode. And I am so excited. That's like a huge honor for me, and I just wanted to say thank you on this main show. Babe.
It's very badass. I didn't realize that when you first played it for me. I did not realize that was a cover because I don't listen to the show, but I didn't realize it was a cover of their theme song. I thought you just made it up. But now it's like that's a really good cover. Not that I didn't think it was good before. I just thought it was an original. But like I'm even more. Because you did a great job.
Great job, Freddy.
Appreciate that.
So you don't know when that's going to be out?
It's well, I think it's
episode.
This week. So the next episode that comes on their feed, it's if you go to risk-show.com.
It's in all the podcast places.
And you can find anywhere you get podcasts.
Where you get ours, you can get that one.
It'll be whatever episode is coming out after this. There's a classic Risk episode called Crisis that's up right now. So I think it'll be the next one to post. But you should listen to the Crisis anyway, because like I said, this is like master storytelling. Like they find people who have these really interesting stories and they craft them into something that's like a real work of art.
Very cool. You guys ready to move on?
Yeah.
So ready.
Are you like ready?
Hello, boys and girls. It's time for straight to video Russian roulette.
Men and women turning on each other, tearing each other's skin with their teeth and their nails. Eyes like snakes. Screams from below, cries from above. It's the end of the world. Judgment comes to wipe your stain from the world.
Trust me, Sals. Stains coming out of my booth ain't from me.
So gross! It is the hour of our reckoning, and I have to spend it with you.
I like what I do. I don't like being shamed for it, especially by the one person who's so hot to save my soul, but can't be bothered to save me from dying in a fucking peep show booth!
This is the end, Angie Petterelli. You thought hell was a joke? You thought hell wasn't real? Think again!
Sally, I'm gonna need you to back off me now.
Hell is coming for you. It is coming for everyone, and all of your sins, and all of your judgments. Oh, how you're gonna pay.
What other crazy, messed up shit do I have to deal with in a single day?
This is crazy. This is crazy. This is crazy.
I wasn't supposed to watch this, was I?
Nope.
What a wordy trailer. That was.
Thank fuck. It was so wordy.
I appreciate that when Freddy plays the trailers, it's better than listening to just a bunch of
horror noises.
Right?
But still,
it's nice.
I was kind of like, I wanted to say to the trailer, just
shut up.
Or do the Ross thing, like
the Ross thing?
Quiet down.
Oh, the Friends.
Yeah.
Fucking Friends addicts.
So what was the name of this movie?
It's called Revealer.
Okay.
It's on Shudder. It's been a busy week.
It's amazing after all the movies they put on there, the Shudder isn't full.
Yeah.
Somebody used to empty it out.
They really should.
While wearing
dump in the sewer.
Robe.
I was heating up a casserole, so I just came in on that last bit you were talking about.
Just derailed the whole thing.
I'm heating a casserole.
Freddy is the main character.
I am the main character. I made the casserole.
He's such an uncle of Freddy.
Yes.
You kids having fun in here?
It was a busy week.
Peace rolls.
And I was having a hard time finding the time to watch the movie, so I didn't give it its best shake because I watched it while I was working on my iPad next to me. I did my best to pay attention, and what I saw, I enjoyed.
All right.
I will say this movie, I think, cost like $1,000 to make. Like I could tell this was an extraordinarily low budget movie, and they did really well with that budget, with hiding,
That's awesome.
But you could also you could tell they were hiding stuff because you're like, well, you probably didn't have a lot of money to do that sort of thing.
What's the plot? Because the trailer gave me no indication. I just heard words.
You just heard bitches squawking at each other.
She said, they clean cum up out of where I work. My place is full of cum.
The movie is this lady named Angie. She's heading to this peep show place because she's going to work.
Yeah. It's the box where you put the coins in, right?
Yeah.
Where Kelley works.
She's heading into work. Yeah.
I work at the peep show.
If you listen to our topic, Hannah, or no, our last show.
I don't remember.
It's
all blur. I don't even know
Kelley
if this really
living
happened.
In a peep show booth. She's heading there because she's going to do a shift because she needs some money. And she has to pass through these religious protesters on her way in. And it's the 80s. in Chicago, according to the description of the movie. Although they don't really talk about
Ferris Bueller turn up.
Do those still exist? Peep show boxes now?
I don't know.
Maybe somewhere.
Dave and Buster's.
If anywhere, they'll be in Nevada, but
New Orleans.
But I don't think they're here. Like
they're definitely not here.
Cincinnati.
What if somebody forgot someone in one of them, and there's like a skeleton in there?
In like Fredericks of Hollywood, like
yeah, there's some skeleton with pasties, and there's a Snickers and a romance novel in the corner, just dust everywhere else. So tragic. No one missed her.
Like the main protester she spars with on her way in to Revealers is the name of this place. Is it a club when that's what it's just booths?
I don't
know. Is a lady on it. And her name is Sally. And they get into it, because our character Angie, she's like, fuck you bitches, you hypocrite assholes, that kind of.
Angie met Sally down at the peep show one day.
They sure did.
Sally got in a fight, yeah.
Yep. Wow. Okay. So she gets through the protesters, goes inside, gets her booth, goes in there and does her act. Let me tell you, the lady who plays Angie, she's got a nice body.
Oh yeah.
Because she's a little thick.
Do we see
nice booty? No, no, there's no nudity.
Okay.
Yeah.
Strike one.
But she had a very nice booty.
That's not really a strike, but I do like nudity.
I know. I'm sorry that you're not going to get it here. While she's doing her dance, the world ends. Basically, I'm not going to say too much more.
Is it a spoiler to say what causes it?
Yes.
Okay.
Well, I mean, it's
I bet I can guess based on some of the, but I won't spoil it. Oh. I don't want to spoil your recommend.
And I appreciate that about you. It comes down to, these two women are now like the religious lady, she manages to get in the building to save herself and gets stuck in this booth with her. I was probably typing an email at that point and don't remember exactly how that happened. I am sorry to the movie. I don't like doing that, but I had to.
Was it a lead-lined peep show box? That why how they survived?
I don't believe it was nuclear in nature. And these two women have to work together, to survive.
So they're literally the last two people on Earth?
They're the last two people that you know about.
Okay.
Oh no!
Well, no, that wasn't a spoiler. That was just me guessing.
Yeah.
No, I don't. I wasn't.
Oh yes.
I want to just remind me about 10 Cloverfield Lane when you're done reviewing this. Just mention it, and it'll come back to me.
Please.
So he doesn't forget about that movie.
I don't want to forget that exists. No, there's something I just noticed. Okay. You keep going.
Like I said, I feel like the budget was super low. So like any, bad dudes or spooky monsters or anything like that, you can't really see it. Or when you do see it, it's the way they light it. The lighting was really cool because it was very neon and like reds and purples and shit like that. I just like, and
spices things up quite a bit.
Yeah, it's sexy. It's fun.
Yeah,
it's good stuff, baby.
You guys say it was real talky. I mean, it didn't feel that way when you watch it. Like the trailer,
just the trailer.
Yeah,
they probably, the movie.
You hate
like
women.
This,
I don't think it's going to bother you. I don't think they talk too much.
It seems like it's more of a character study than the horror that they deal with.
It's a little bit of both. I mean, it's these two women who have just yelled at each other basically their entire relationship, are now trying to work together.
Is their relationship literally this one day, or has she been a protester for
She's been a
time?
protester for a while.
So they have a history.
Yeah.
Okay.
That's all I'm going to tell you about Revealer. I thought it looked
That's
great
all you'll reveal?
For what is clearly a micro budget, it felt like to me.
Are the ladies good performers?
Yes.
Yeah.
I thought they did great.
They say they're the best.
Revealer.
Any
additional questions? Okay, then we'll move on.
So I was reading Heavy Metal magazine last night, like an old issue of that, and there's a story in it that was basically 10 Cloverfield Lane, almost exactly.
What was it? Did you say Tales from the Crypt?
No, it was Heavy Metal.
Heavy Metal.
Or Metal Hurlant. The French reissues they did.
Is that your story?
Oh, wait, you're not in there, Amy. That should say Kelley.
No,
Okay.
Kelly's not going to be here next week, so it's just you.
Well,
Yeah, take me out.
I don't even know if we're going to record next week because Kelley will be away. So we haven't even decided anything yet.
Well, in that case,
We might.
it's me or Andy.
Or we might not.
You still have your name in there, too. You want to tell us what the movie is real quick?
Movie. It's that one that was on Hulu with Sebastian Stan.
Oh, Fresh. Is that what it's called? Fresh.
The horrors of modern dating seen through one young woman's defiant battle to survive her new boyfriend's unusual appetites. Did I say that?
He prefers Miracle Whip.
We're watching it a little late, so it's not so fresh.
That is a deal breaker.
anymore.
Yeah, man.
I'm just kidding. I like Miracle Whip.
But mayonnaise is so much better,
Mayonnaise
right?
is better, yeah.
Oh, agreed. Clearly, but I like Miracle Whip because it's like that's not mayo. I love mayo, but this is like a little different.
Hey, finally, I was complaining last week. I wasn't gonna watching movies.
Fresh.
The universe heard me.
Yeah.
Get your Miracle Whip ready.
Slather it on, baby.
Let's whip that miracle out.
Miracle Whip has its place in
That's what I mean.
salads,
Coleslaws and stuff.
Yeah, like dressings.
I can it's not mayo. I don't want it on my sandwich.
Yeah, I don't think they should sell it in those big jars. It should sell it in smaller jars because nobody goes through.
You're giving America the wrong message.
I will tell you, when I was a little kid, my mom would make me. This sounds horrible. She would just make me like these sandwiches. It was just 2 pieces of bread and Miracle Whip.
No, I see. Mayonnaise,
I used to do that.
Mayonnaise sandwiches. Come
mayonnaise
on.
sandwiches. Okay,
I made
that all
A1
the time.
sandwiches. Just A1 sauce.
I would
on
have
white
ketchup
bread.
sandwiches.
Yeah, mustard
all
condiment
right.
sandwiches.
So nasty.
I don't feel.
When
All
you're
right,
a
thank
poor
you.
child, that's what you eat in the
I
summer.
would eat
Yeah.
raw hot dogs. Okay.
Thank you for supporting me.
There's nothing. No child has a good palate.
That's
It's
true.
fine.
Sometimes I would use white bread from the bag.
Speaking of bad taste.
Nick Parker is quick as a snake, strong as a bow, not to mention blind as a bat.
Nice doggy. What's your problem? You blind? Yeah.
Holy sh! He came for a friendly visit.
Step aside, blind man.
But his timing was a little off. Now, a young boy wants his guidance.
Did you ever cry?
The strong man is never afraid to cry. They've got him, don't they? Where's my son? He's here. He's fine.
And the boy's father needs his help.
Now, if you want to keep him that way... Unreasonable men make life so difficult. Shoot! The blind Zorro. If you can't handle it, get me somebody that can. Get me Bruce Lee.
Bruce Lee is dead.
Then get his brother.
Rutger Hauer.
I also do circumcision.
Blind Fury.
I don't remember him saying he does circumcision in the movie.
He does.
I do. He does.
Okay.
Yeah.
That was like the tire and the Twister trailer to me for a minute.
Yeah.
You know, I think
Or pushing the lady into the water in the Dirty Rotten Scoundrels trail.
Exactly.
I think I love this movie. It was so fun.
I gotta say, we enjoyed the shit out of it.
We laughed a lot.
It's problematic. It's not as problematic as I expected it to be.
I'm so confused.
That's one thing to give it.
Well, listening to the trailer seems like the screwball comedy, but watching it,
It's not exactly that, but it is that.
it is.
It is that.
but it isn't.
Yeah, it's mishmashy.
There were times I was laughing genuinely.
Yeah, but my
like
God.
at their intent. Yeah. There were times.
This one needs a blow by blow, I think.
Real quick, I'm so confused because I felt like, based on the way you guys felt about Split Second last week, you would think this was also garbage. But I think I understand because this movie had a beginning, middle, and end.
This is a far better made movie. This is a well-made movie.
This movie is exactly as good as Split Second.
They tried in this movie. They tried.
Are nuggets from the same McNugget meal.
No. I'm gonna hard disagree with you on this.
I take it from someone who's seen Split Second 3 times.
This movie, it is a very competently made, crafted, acted, shot. There are some great shots in this. It is very much feels like a big budget action movie.
Yeah.
Split Second feels like a bunch of people came in on the day and just did it, like with what they had that they found around them, and Rutger Hauer.
But that one guy's just popcorn. That character popcorn who eats popcorn.
I don't want to talk about Split. We just tried it last week.
Yes.
This is all about Blind Fury.
Well, no, I'm talking about popcorn and Blind Fury.
Yeah. He eats a lot of popcorn.
So
is that Rick Overton?
Is that who that was?
No.
He's in it. He's one of the hillbillies.
So, yeah, but the setup is he's in Vietnam. Andy's freshest on this, I think.
Rutger.
Yeah,
Rutger was in Vietnam.
He was in Vietnam in the beginning. Yeah. He is blinded somehow, which later in the movie...
It's revealed that he was blinded by his friend, right?
Yeah, well, it felt that way because there's a
moment.
I wasn't sure.
There's this moment in the middle of the movie that with Terry O'Quinn, who was in The Stepfather, which we were just talking about.
That's him.
Yeah, he plays the friend who I read it as him accidentally blinding him because in the middle of the movie, do you remember in Zoolander the scene where they go for what is it? Smoothies. They go for smoothies and they set themselves on fire at the gas station because of the gasoline fight.
Yeah. They're playing with the gasoline. Yeah,
it's like a prank gone wrong, I think, or something.
Yeah, they're like, he just loved explosives so much. And then they show
he loved to play with explosives,
around the explosives tent and everything. It was ridiculous. This movie is full of ridiculous. And then it tries to give you genuine moments. Like, it's like a fucking olive on top of an ice cream sundae.
But that's the 80s for you. This is a very 80s movie.
I didn't hate it. I love that it is what it is. I'm just pointing out what it is.
Now where it did lose me, it didn't lose me. I actually thought this was maybe even more hilarious, but not intentionally so, was the just raw sexual chemistry between Rutger Hauer and the little boy.
Oh, God.
Because...
No, their faces got a little too close like a lot of times.
He kept making sexy I kept waiting for Rutger Hauer to put his mouth on that little boy's mouth.
See, this is all one-sided because he doesn't realize the little boy is interested in him. So you don't want to paint this character as his pedophile necessarily.
Seriously, I did not catch any of this.
What? Did you watch it?
It was like a will they won't they type thing going on.
Well, okay, so I listened to this podcast called The Delta Flyers, and it's the two actors from Star Trek Voyager talking about episodes of Star Trek Voyager. Yeah. One guy's a television director, and they talk about those scenes in TV. They do it a lot on fucking Star Trek. Is the close talking scenes where two actors are in a shot and they look like they could touch lips if they just moved a scotch, and that was on purpose, because they had to get them both in the shot.
It's to save on film stock.
No, I get it.
But it's also a professional now, and I understand these things.
Our film's not big
But look
enough.
at his face. It's not just the proximity. It's the face acting. It's also the dialogue, which again, it's not meant that way. Oh, no. But it's like, holy shit, he's touching his little boy's face. Again, he's blind. I get it. But it's just like,
I don't like this.
He's running he gives you Daniel Stern and Monsters.
I thought about you.
Vibes,
I thought about saying to you, I'm having your little monsters moment here.
Yeah.
I'm not just once, not just twice, but at least thrice.
You know what it is we've
maybe more.
We have been so ramped up to be on the lookout for that stuff that you look at movies and
you and I got to us.
No, if anyone on this planet is not that, it is me. Every time, there's so many times you guys are uncomfortable with things, and I'm not.
Yeah.
This one.
Yeah, this is very interesting.
Man, now I kind of want to go back and give it another look and see what if I read into this. I mean, to me, a lot of it. So much of
it's unintentional. It's unintentional.
Yeah.
Absolutely. I'm not saying it's real. It just is
right.
Looking at it, you're just looking at it, and you're in the moment in the movie, and you're like, this feels like a different kind of moment.
He was a little too close to that kid, in general.
That's what I mean.
Even emotionally, they didn't really earn this bond necessarily.
No, for real. This was the 8, but that was the 8. That was that trope of we're not going to explain things. We're not going to really make realistic connections. It's very Monster Squad in that way.
Yeah.
It's just we're gonna show you what you need to know. this guy loves this kid. It doesn't matter. Move. And I agree with you. That is that's a failing, but it is hilarious.
So Rutger Hauer, he gets blinded, but the Vietnamese take him in
and train him
and decide to train
some
him.
reason.
For some reason, it's
so
not
fucking
explained.
random. Yeah.
He didn't seem to ask to be trained.
No.
He was just caught. Well, he was just caught in a net. He was captured by them, and they just took him in as a.
And they're like, "This guy looks like
trainee.
somebody we could probably
My
teach."
dad was in Vietnam. He saw a lot of action. Never once did he tell me any stories about being trained up in a little farming village.
Well, maybe they took pity on him because he was blind.
Well, I get
Maybe
that.
You know,
but
I think it might have started out as, honestly, I think the most interesting angle, if this could be true, is that they were just having fun having him do these feats because it was so astounding because he was blind. They weren't really training him. They were just setting him up like jackass stunts.
No.
That would be a fun way to look at it.
It's not.
It's the only thing that makes sense.
It also could be, he's a soldier and they're like, all he knows is being a soldier. We have to help him.
Oh, so he'll stay alive.
Be a soldier again.
So
I mean, it was human kindness.
So fast forward 20 years, he just ends up in Florida. Why is he there?
Apparently,
Everyone does.
I think he walked there from Vietnam.
He walked there from Vietnam to get to Terry O'Quinn's house.
He did, because they keep showing him walking. And I'm like, has he been walking from Vietnam?
Vietnam vets, it's an 80s rule that they have to hitchhike
It's
from
the
place
John
to place.
Rambo. Yeah, it's the...
Yeah.
Was Rowdy Roddy, was he a Vietnam vet and they live? I can't remember.
I'm going to go ahead and say yes. I'm going to make that canon right now.
He was definitely part of that character archetype. So
Yeah.
those three should be in a movie together.
You got to have a good butt if you want to be a damaged Vietnam veteran.
Good button jeans. Good button 80s jeans.
Did Rutger Hauer have a
Well,
good
we
button
were
this?
talking about Rowdy
Oh,
Piper.
you like Rowdy Roddies.
But also, I feel like the butt, like
He's got a
even the
Rowdy
show,
Roddy back there, huh?
The Hitchhiker, which the guy who directed this, Noyce is his name.
Noyce.
He also
Philip
directed
Noyce.
The Hitchhiker, which is
The Hitcher?
or the
Hitcher.
Hitcher. I mean, not the Hitchhiker, the Hitcher, the TV series is what I meant. And the
Not the
reason,
movie.
The reason, no,
Too much hitching going on.
not the movie. The Hitchhiker, the TV series, it was HBO. It was kind of like Tales from the Crypt.
Okay.
So not the
Not
Hitcher.
the Hitcher.
No, this was
Why
the
did you
anthology
agree
series.
with us then?
The Hitchhiker.
Oh, God, you
The
got me
Hitchhiker.
so confused right now.
Anywho, the main reason we watched that series in our house
'cause
and
of the
why
nice
I got to
butt and
see it
jeans?
is because my mom liked the Hitchhiker's butt,
Well,
who was the wraparound thing. He would hitchhike at the beginning and end of the show. So
I remember this. Who was the guy?
who played the Hitchhiker?
Yeah.
I'm going to find out for you
So,
right now. It was
he's-
someone named Paige Fletcher.
the Rutger Hauer? Not Rowdy
Little
Roddy.
baby Rutger.
Little baby Rutger
Went running with naive.
has been hitching his way to Frank's house, who was Terry O'Quinn. But when he gets there, he meets Meg Foster.
Yeah.
Is it Meg Foster or an android made to look like Meg Foster? Because she had the most silver
That's her
eyes.
eyes.
Her eyes really look like
Her
that.
eyes are
that.
insane.
No, I know. I'm just, it's crazy.
And she is his wife. And then the little boy is there. That is the child. And
Yeah.
they're like, I don't know where Frank is. And then these guys come in and kill her.
Yep.
Yeah. That was shocking.
Yeah.
Yeah, I didn't see that coming.
Is that when we
I thought she was going to be through the whole movie.
Does Rutger do moves there, Andy?
Yeah.
I can't remember.
That's like he cuts hands off.
Oh yeah.
He slices that was
because
okay,
that katana slices and
This-
dices.
That was like a nod to Yojimbo, I
it
think.
was
with the
such a
hand being
violent
cut off.
movie for such a light movie.
It was crazy
It was
violent.
crazy
I said the
violent.
same thing.
No, like I was like, the violence is rated E for everybody because everybody got beat up.
Oh, this joke.
The kid got beat up.
It's true.
Yeah.
Some old ladies got beat up.
Oh my gosh.
That mom, she got a hole blown right through her in the first few minutes of the movie.
The little boy, by the way, was John J. He was
John Jingleheimer Schmidt.
Whoa.
Yeah, he was on Step by Step. He was one of the kids.
I knew I recognized that kid.
Yeah,
They held
Step
a
by
gun
Step.
to this kid's head at the end.
Yeah.
My lord, it gave me anxiety because thinking about like all the on-scene accidents
Yeah.
with guns. I was like,
Yeah.
you're gonna kill that little boy.
Well,
They didn't though.
They didn't, but it just get.
I could
just
see
thought
why
about
that
it.
would be upsetting, but the gun was made of chocolate.
What's funny is
I could saw it melting.
It just left a little mark on his face.
Yeah, a little doo-doo. It's some of the leftover chocolate from Split Second.
There you go.
I could never tell. Look, Rutger Hauer, like, ostensibly is one of these action, like, in unflappable dudes, but I thought it was funny. He was clumsy sometimes and kind of like a doopa-doopa-doo. Like, there's this, when he's crossing the street at the end, Rutger Hauer does a great comedy walk. Like, I feel like it's a deliberate move to, like, really humanize this guy. I actually think Rutger Hauer was, I don't want to say he was good in this, but, like, he was definitely doing a thing. And, like, he just had this goofy guy walk that was so anti-action hero.
I think it was deliberate to
not
let people know that he was, like, so capable of being.
Oh, you think the character was doing that, not Rutger Hauer?
Yes, he's doing it on purpose to not let people know that he can basically see.
I got you.
Well,
but he is Daredevil.
He's a hustler, is what you're saying. He's like White Man Can't Jump.
Yeah.
Like,
that's a movie for you kids.
he takes the kid because mom's dead. Don't know where.
He doesn't tell the kid though. He just
Doesn't
takes him and
tell.
tells him we're going to Reno.
Yeah.
And,
You're
like,
my
the
boy
kid
now.
Just says okay. He doesn't, like, check to see if it's okay for him to go with his mom. She just believes that his mom's okay.
Well, he's
It's basically a modern day hobo situation now. You've got a hobo and his young ward.
This kid is not processing this situation correctly at all for his age.
So what happened was that Terry O'Quinn was kidnapped by the bad guys.
It's very
he's a
much,
gambler.
It's the plot.
He's a gambler and he owes money, and they want him to make the blue meth.
It's like it's like
he's,
Rogue One.
He's their Walter White.
He's their Walter White.
He's the Mads Mikkelsen from Rogue One, where the Empire kidnapped him to design the weapon.
Yeah,
he was designing like
this character made me mad. He didn't deserve all the stuff that people went through for him.
No, he didn't, because he probably blinded his friend.
Yeah, and he also
and he was there because he
had all these
he owed the mob money.
Right,
he owed him a lot of money. That's the thing. So then that's why they go to the house and kill the mom and stuff. And they're like,
and he keeps refusing to do it, even though they keep saying they're going to kill his wife and kid.
Yeah. He's like, I forgot. Make your meth.
I didn't even put that together until just now, because I agreed. I was like, this dude is not.
Yeah.
I kept waiting for, like, the blind Fury guy to kill him. And then he did. Like, I was like, is this gonna be like a comeuppance thing because he's not a good dude? No, it's not.
A lot of people died because of this guy. A lot.
So
just make the meth. I was like, why won't he just make the meth?
So Blind Fury and kids are headed to Reno because that's where the bad guy is with the dad, with Frank. And then hijinks ensue. I don't really remember.
Lisa Blount from Prince of Darkness. She was the
Prince of Darkness,
the female lead in Prince of Darkness.
She was like unwillingly kind of working for the bad guys.
She kind of pissed me off too.
She was a little wishy-washy.
Yeah, she kind of was. I maybe saw her way out when he turned up.
But she was part. Like, she had a thing for Richard, the guy, and I think that's the reason she was.
Who's Richard?
The Frank, you mean?
Frank.
Is Frank Terry O'Quinn?
Yes.
Terry O'Quinn is Frank.
Who's
Nicholas
Richard?
Einhorn.
I just tossed a name out there. Richard, the stepfather.
Oh, that's Terry O'Quinn, and his name was Frank.
Anyway,
Terry O'Quinn is the one that likes to smoke around explosives.
Yeah.
Likes to get people killed.
The other guy is blind.
He's also terrible at catching werewolves.
He get this. He did not learn his lesson blinding his friend in Vietnam to be a better person. He went home and immediately borrowed money from the mafia. Apparently.
I guess so.
Yeah. Wow, some people never learn.
Or lost it all, in high stakes gambling with the mafia.
What if he was just doing it all to get Rutger Hauer new eyes?
Oh, that's probably part of it. We're probably supposed to, just intuit that.
Yeah, that's the spinoff that they
It's
were going to
implied.
give him. Yeah, where what happens is Terry O'Quinn's mouth fuses shut, and he does this thing. The sequel to this is called Hungry Penance, and he does penance for his friend. He's trying to find him some eyes.
Andy, when he takes the kid and they get to
The man with no mouth took my eyes, Mom.
Or they get
Give me
away.
scenes.
They get
Also
away. Rutger Hauer and the annoying child.
Yes.
With the sexual intention going on the whole time.
Believe that.
They poured a bucket of cold water on him.
Yeah. So, and they get away because the big henchman, he jumps out the window. One of many jumping through the window scenes.
A lot of window jumping.
Oh, and
maybe it's
I'm sorry.
I was just saying, maybe it's Baby Rutger's sensual lips that imply all that. Like,
sexy man. Like I would.
He just has sensual lips.
I don't know what you're talking.
So they get away and they're on their way to Reno to reunite with the dad. But
Andy, real quick, can you tell me what's the accent she's doing?
Whose accent?
Lisa Blount, the lady who teams up with them randomly.
Southern.
Sometimes
Southern.
Yeah, it was something.
It was sometimes Southern.
Yeah.
Sometimes they're.
So like the mafia guy sends his bumbling henchman, who I love.
They're all bumbling.
The hillbilly guy.
Popcorn and his skinny friend.
Larry, Daryl, and my other brother Daryl.
Yeah, it's like I love them. They're so bumbling and so stupid. I wouldn't see a whole movie with just them because they had some.
Well, you can't now. They're dead.
They're dead. They have a charm to them.
Oh, did he kill him?
No, they killed each other.
That's right. They shot each other.
Right.
That's how bumbling they are. So
I like Tex Cobb in this. Yeah. He's a presence.
So it's just a bunch of hijinks. They're trying to catch Rutger Hauer and the child. So they eventually get to Reno and they meet up with
Dangle,
the lady, the annoying lady, with the coming and
Lisa
going
Blount.
accent. Yeah.
Oh wait, she didn't come along until they got to Reno.
Well, she
popped up here and there.
Yeah, okay.
But she's in Reno.
See, that's what it's all blurry for me. I'm glad you just watched this.
Popcorn and his brother, they were driving her as they were using her as collateral, I guess.
Yeah.
And then they meet they kidnap Rutger and the child in the truck, and that's when the trio teams
get
up.
together. Yeah.
Slag.
Yeah.
And Rutger pulls a prank on him, and then they go find his sword.
Oh yeah,
that's right. He told her to start counting, so he's like, "Start counting."
The kid. He told the kid to start counting.
Yeah, so that and he's leaving breadcrumbs basically to get back to his sword, which was kind of a smart little moment in the movie that they probably really patted themselves on the back over.
Yeah,
it felt like something written for a better movie.
Yeah,
and then Rutger Hauer has to drive as a blind man.
Yeah, that didn't.
Well, as long as an 11-year-old kid is navigating for you, I think it's okay.
By the law, you mean? Is that in the
by
books?
the law?
By the law.
I think at least in our state, I think that's ODOT regulation.
Oh,
yeah. They're like, it has to be an 11-year-old.
At least.
Precisely.
At least
one 11-year-old or two 6-year-olds.
Mm-hmm.
There was something I wanted to say, and I can't remember it. So Andy, please continue.
Did we ruin it?
No, it fled.
It fled. Fled came out about the time this one did too, right?
Fled's a movie?
No.
Yeah. It's like the Defiant ones, only like they
that
tried to
came out like
it
the late 90s or early 2000s.
Oh, okay. This all blurs together for
You're
me.
real
This was
dumb,
89. Paul Abdul was top of the charts with a little song called Straight Up.
Oh yeah?
Actually, it might have been before that. This might have been a second wave of Abdul.
Is that how you?
No. This was first wave. If it was 89, it's definitely Straight Up.
So
Now
then it
tell
would have
me.
been Straight Up, which was a phenomenal song that makes up for some of this movie on its impact to the year.
Just to be clear, it's not in the movie.
It's not in this movie.
No, it's unrelated as far as
I was like, oh
that.
shit, it was in the movie?
No,
I
this is just,
forgot?
imagine you're looking at a giant timeline of the history of art.
I don't want to.
And then there's this little blob that says Blind Fury, and next to it, this thing that says Straight Up. And they're like, you get the keepers of the scroll say, you've come to your end, and we allow you one more entertainment before you shuffle off this mortal coil. You may either watch the film Blind Fury starring Rutger Hauer and the kid from Step by Step and the lady from Prince of Darkness, or you can listen to this song called Straight Up.
I would pick the movie because it's an hour and a half.
Well, yeah.
Just for more time?
Yeah.
I'd go with Straight Up. Now tell me for sure. 100.
Kelly?
Oh, I'd go with the movie.
Okay.
Just for the more time? Or you really think you would enjoy it knowing that you're about to die?
I think part of the time, part of it is more time. I laughed a lot through this movie.
Yeah.
Straight Up is a great song.
It is.
I can hum it to myself while I watch Blind Fury before I shuffle off this mortal coil.
You make a good point. You could get the best of both worlds, or you could have them play straight up for you an equivalent of a 90-minute runtime and reenact out the story with sock
so it's a really slow, straight up
Blind Fury.
That's
like straight up.
Remember, I want to talk about the dudes. Okay, so Rutger's in his sword. He's that kind of sword guy that can go and then somebody's eyebrows fall off
perfectly, and they line
their
up
face.
as eyebrows on the paper on his desk.
They fall right off their face, and then he goes, and like other things get cut.
Yeah, he's a fruit ninja as well.
Yeah, it's just I like that. I've always enjoyed that.
Yeah.
It's very Zorro.
It's a fun thing.
It's precision. That's precision sword work.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He can also, like Freddie said, he could also do circumcisions.
What if they did it like with a real sword and he accidentally disemboweled somebody?
That's probably why they don't do it with a real sword.
Yeah.
That's probably it.
So they get to Reno.
But imagine you died for this
Freddy.
movie, I guess is what I'm trying to
And
say.
at one point, he starts gambling for some reason. Don't you remember that? He played roulette for a while.
He did.
Oh, yeah,
he had a
he
ton
did
of chips.
And then he exposed the casino as a cheat.
Yeah.
And that black lady pulls up the...
That was my favorite moment.
That was a great moment. Oh, yeah.
She held up the whole ass table, right?
Yeah, she grabbed the roulette wheel, held it over her head.
The rigged roulette table, and she says... I forgot what she shouts, but it's really funny.
No, I think she just said, "Look at this," or something like that.
She says like, "They're scamming us."
So there calls like a kerfuffle in the casino, and that's when they
filmed her from that low angle too, so they made her. It was very like an imposing, like over her head, she's about to bash someone to death with it type of shot. Oh my god, best moment, easy.
So he meets up with Terry O'Quinn because he's being held captive on the top floor apparently, and it's just more bumbling henchman hijinks.
Yeah. So much henchman hijinks.
People get caught in an elevator at one point.
You know, it's fun, but like for this kind of movie, like there's none better like for me than like Rumble in the Bronx. Like it's perfect if you're gonna make this kind of movie.
Oh well, that's like a legitimately like. I mean, I enjoyed this movie genuinely, but I can't call it like a legitimately like
legitimate movie.
Like it is, but it's like I don't say movies necessarily are good or bad objectively anymore. But this is like Rumble in the Bronx is
intent in that one. That hit.
There was more thought, I feel like, put into it.
It was consistently a comedy, and it handled like a lot of these same themes, I think. But this movie, I don't know. There are moments in this movie where I don't know what genre it is.
Totally,
you know what happened to this movie?
Breaknecky.
This movie was really the culmination of the Reagan era. No, what it was though, I do believe this because I feel like that's the talent. I feel like the talent behind this movie was so underserved by, I think this was a clear 1980s movie executives saying like, don't waste time, don't waste shooting days trying to connect these dots and make those things don't matter. Kids won't care. Dads won't care. Moms won't care. Whoever's watching this, just put them, they'll get it. And the people because there are like real moments in this movie where it's like I felt like I was watching 4 different movies.
Yeah.
And they were all like, and they're not, again, not great movies, but if you took them separately and maybe like there would be one that was real problematic and you push that over here and you're like, we don't really watch that movie anymore. But you might have been able to suss out 3, like, I'm trying to think of an equivalent, action movie that was a little better, but like wasn't. Well, anyway,
Crank.
You know what I mean. Sort of. No, that's a great movie. Like a mid-level.
Wait, which one?
I just said Crank. I don't know.
Oh,
Crank.
I love Crank.
A mid-level 80s action movie. Not a Die Hard, but not a Split Second. You know what I mean? Like somewhere, if you separate the 4 movies out of this, like a couple of them could be that.
Like,
now that's some math.
Did you compare it? Somebody compared it to the Lethal Weapon remake they attempted to make on It's Always Sunny in Philadelphia.
No, that was split second. That's
or was that
split
second? Who said that?
That's what Kelley said.
You said it, Kelley.
They said it was like they were making a movie. Like,
do you get that from this too? Though I feel like it applies here as well.
I don't. I get from this that this was a full-on big fucking Hollywood thing, and they just couldn't put it together because they just didn't care about the connecting the dots.
Yeah,
and then
they were like, it doesn't matter.
I mean, they connected dots, but out of order.
So
but and just lazily,
yeah.
In that 80s way.
I want to get to the point where the guy gets split in half when he's falling down.
Oh my God, that's amazing.
Well, like after he meets up with Terry O'Quinn, they kidnap the annoying child again.
Yep.
And take him to their mountain fortress.
Oh, yes, the mountain fortress.
Oh, the mountain fortress, yeah.
And they have to go up in the little thingamahoos, right?
Yeah, the elevator, that ski lifty thing.
The gondola.
Yeah, gondola.
Thank you.
And it's just a bunch of fight scenes, and Terry O'Quinn reveals himself to be an asshole again.
But then he comes back.
He abandons like a Rutger Hauer in the hallway. It made me mad.
But I thought we were supposed to think he abandoned him, but then he came back with explosives.
Yeah, it was a trick, wasn't it?
No, because they made
they set it up earlier where he loves explosives so much.
I don't remember.
And that's the thing about that scene. They're like, it serves two purposes. We show how much he loves explosives for later when he's using them, and it also shows how he's fucking reckless as hell and blinded his friend. Like,
okay, I don't remember what the motivations were in that moment.
It was poorly directed.
It was because they were stuck in the hallway, and then Terry O'Quinn abandoned Rutger Hauer to fight off the henchmen so he can get his son.
Right.
It's so goddamn charming though. It overcomes it's like The Room.
Yeah.
Very much like The Room.
It's better than The Room.
It did set up the
It
moment
did win
where,
me over.
Rutger Hauer just slaughters everybody with the sword.
It's like a comedy where they tell you going in that laughing is optional.
Yeah.
It felt like that. It felt like this is a comedy for people that hate jokes.
So was it Tex Cobb that was...
Yeah. He's the kind of like, he is just like the most masculine creature anyone's ever filmed.
Is this the guy who got his eyebrows cut off?
No. Okay. This
Tex
is the guy.
Cobb, you would know him.
That got cut in half as... Okay.
Oh, that guy, the beardy.
His name was Slag.
The guy who likes
Cliff.
The guy who likes to jump out of windows.
Yeah. He's standing next to Cliff. He gets... Rutger Hauer slices him. He falls off. You watch him fall down, and about halfway down, his body just splits.
It was very Games of Thronesy.
That was amazing.
The elevation. They were like, we have to go higher than any other action movie has ever dropped a bisected corpse. That's the number one priority today, guys.
It's the one thing they're best known for.
And
that's really all this movie is remembered for.
Yeah.
And somebody thought, let's build a house on top of this. Mount Everest of America, basically.
It's very stupid.
It used to be a Bond villain's house, and then they put it on the market cheap.
It did have a Bondy vibe.
But like a cheap, like it's not been kept up.
No, it's a one of the villains that didn't make out so well.
Well, there was a Bond villain moment where he pulled the guy has his own ninja to fight Rutger.
Oh yeah,
I forgot about the extra ninja.
Well, at one point he says, like in the trailer, he says like, "Get Bruce Lee." Like, yeah, that's like Bruce Lee's gonna say, "Yeah, I'll kill this blind guy for you."
Sure.
That'd be like somebody today like, "Get Chris Pratt."
Yeah.
That just felt like they were trying to use. This was sort of a problematic moment for me where I felt like they were trying to say, well, if we can have him beat an Asian guy at like this sword play, that really shows
get the most Asian guy.
That shows that he's good at those things. Like it's like if he could beat, you know what I mean? Like it felt a little racist.
You know what this movie was missing is during the Vietnam scenes, they should have played like that "Time has come today." You know what I'm talking about? Time.
Or some Credence. You gotta have some
Credence. Yeah, Fortunate Son, maybe. Like it was like the only thing. Did it feel like somebody had magnets of like 80s tropes? Like in one of them was like a weird ET style relationship between the swordsman and the kid. There were moments that felt like it was like that fetishism of like an older guy helping with your kid. And it's like, it was
totally.
The movie Ruskies, if you've never seen it, it's about some kids who find a Russian washed up on the beach, if I remember right, something like that.
I know exactly what you're talking about. This was a trope, totally.
Yeah. I'm sorry, Andy. You were starting to say something. I got excited.
It fled.
How does this movie end? Does he hit the road again?
Yeah, he just leaves.
He just walks off.
He's gonna walk back to Vietnam.
But he gets the kid throws out the thing he whittled for him, right? And he catches it.
Well, he didn't whittle that. That was a dinosaur toy that the kid threw out the window.
I don't know why I thought he whittled it.
Oh, the dad whittled. Did someone whittle that?
The kid made this thing, this
Little
figurine.
dinosaur.
I have no idea.
It looked like a triceratops.
And
it's a dinosaur.
The dad goes to throw it. Or makes the kid get rid of it.
No, it's the kid.
The kid hates him for leaving, right?
Oh, you're right.
I don't. At the beginning, he throws the dinosaur out the window, and Blind Fury catches it. And then at the end of the movie,
the kid throws
Blind
it.
Fury is down under the bridge because the dad and the lady now they have a whole new life. They're going to a whole new house on the bus with the kid. They don't even give a fuck about his dead mom. And
but then they invite Rutger Hauer over for Thanksgiving.
And the kid. Well, we don't know. The kid runs out onto the bridge.
Yeah.
And throws the thing. And then Rutger Hauer catches it again because he's just right in the right spot.
Yep.
And then, like any Greyhound bus would do, they drive up alongside and pick the kid up and let the dad hug him for a while because they don't have a schedule to meet.
Nope.
And then that's the end of the movie.
End of the movie, y'all.
That dad does not deserve to have a happy ending.
Bad dad.
This would pair well
Bad
with The
Dad.
Stepfather if you watch the second one. If you watch The Stepfather as a sequel to Blind Fury.
Yeah, there you go.
Where he just decides to kill the family instead.
Honestly.
He's like, I'm just starting over.
We should start making unofficial trilogies.
Yeah,
It's the Terrio Quinn Dad Cinematic Universe.
It's the Terrio Quinn Dad Cinematic Universe celebrating 10 years of film.
Celebrating about 4 years. 2 movies.
We did it, guys. We did it.
We did do it.
Blind Fury. Cheers to you, you wacky ass movie.
It was wacky.
It was wacky. Oh,
Oh,
80s.
shit. I have to notify the winner. I'll do that tomorrow morning.
Yeah, you better.
If you want a chance
Spanking.
to pick our main attraction, we do it
Are we
every
going to
month.
give them? Are we going to send them a spanking?
I'm going to spank Amy.
Sign up for our mailing list at notlp.com. I'm going to read off our Beelzebubs, which we do every show. The end of it. Again, patreon.com/notlp.
Read them off hard.
Alise.
Hoping to see you in a few.
Lynn Walsh.
I come from Lynn down under.
Alyssa.
I'm hungry.
Branan and Emily.
So I'm going to say stuff about being hungry between your names.
Jeffel.
I made a chicken casserole. It has potatoes,
Dustin, we talked about you in Origins because you had written to us.
onions.
Iona Goodwin.
Then there's another layer. I added leftover chicken that I had.
I own a great one.
Thank you. Dr. Brian.
I put another layer of potatoes on there.
Bill or Jerk Bitch Boat.
And then on the stovetop, I had seasoned all this with salt and pepper.
Bill Farner.
On the stovetop, I made a roux.
Blake.
I shredded a bunch of sharp cheddar cheese into that roux.
Mark Watts.
I poured that on top of this casserole.
Blayne. Yogurt.
Oh, I forgot to mention I put a tiny bit of cayenne pepper in that cheese sauce.
DoorDash Jeans.
Hoping you're going to say yogurt.
A little yogurt. And then I baked it in the oven.
Paul.
And
It got
waiting
hot.
for us. It's got hot. I can't wait to eat it.
Jeremy and Cassie. And Gamora.
It's going to taste pretty good.
Ernie.
Sounds good.
I'm pretty sure it's going to be great.
Dave Siebert.
I used a buttery yellow potato, Dave.
Michael Burns.
You look like a man who appreciates a buttery yellow tomato.
And Monica.
Monica, if you were here, I'd let you have a bite, but you're not. So that's just too bad.
Thank you so much for listening.
Yeah.
How are you doing, listener?
I can't wait to hear what the pick is.
Yeah. Bye, y'all.
Bye.
Yeah. Bye.
Frankenstein was wondering if he should go to bed when his old buddy Leatherface put on